I'm somewhat of a purist, maybe some people would say a snob, when it comes to classic guitar shapes, and therefore I really dislike having humbuckers in Strats or Teles, with the exception of Filtertron pickups, because they are technically humbuckers, but they come from the same sort of countryish, folkish ram or lineage DNA as Telecasters. And I just happen to love Cabronitas, as it turns out, but they are not really more than just Gretsch pickups in a solid body Tele. So it is natural to assume that their sound will be somewhere between a Gretsch and a Tele, but it would be wrong to assume that it's right down the middle, because they sound much more like a Gretsch than a Tele, because the pickups. And I am in the tone wood camp, but I'm saying that it is just one factor, a smaller factor, and pickups are usually a bigger factor if we are talking about the pickup types. So single coil and humbucker, PF humbucker, and the Gretsch Filtertron will sound differently. So I think that accounts for most of the difference. But this solid body really adds something nice to these. Well, these are TV Jones pickups, but Filtertron Gretsch style pickups that kind of push it a little bit towards the Tele. To do this comparison only between the Cabronita and the Gretsch, but I included the Tele because I just wanted to see how well this Cabronita can tackle more of that Bakersfield or later Nashville style chicken picking sound, and I think it does quite well. Like I said, the solid body pushes it in the direction of the Tele, but it still is basically a Filtertron sound, which doesn't have that pokey or cut through mid-range as the Tele, but it has the nice chime up on top, and it also has roundness and fullness, warmth in it. Now, the hollow body Gretsch is the warmest and fullest of all of them, but with the solid body Cabronita, you still have a lot of it compared to the Tele. It might be a good thing for you, might not be a good thing, but I actually happen to enjoy it. So I kind of think that for finger picking, and you'll see this in the next and last sound sample, for finger picking, Chet Atkins style stuff, the Gretsch really has that airy, hollow body sound. That I think it's more pleasant or not as harsh. Now this one is not harsh either, but it has more punch. But once again, doesn't have that mid-range punch, but it's more powerful, more present. So it cuts, it has clarity on top, it has chime, it has the twang, but not as much as a Tele, but maybe in a different context with more mid-range, more bass end and more roundness and fullness. So for example, I really enjoy playing like Brian Setzery rockabilly-ish stuff on this Cabronita. Now, what is the situation where you would benefit from this? So first of all, writing my original songs and recording songs in the sort of countryish, westernish realm, I really like to use a Filtertron pickup as either like a backing track, so sort of like a rhythm track, and then use a Tele as the lead, or again use the Gretsch or the Cabronita to record some, some texture, some chords in the background, maybe with some tremolo, or with the whammy bar tremolo arm, Bixby, or just some arpeggios or something like that. And for this reason, I think it really works great together with the Tele, and it's more so true for the Cabronita, because of course it depends from the context, but it is a little bit closer to the Tele, and I find they match well. So that's basically my plea for having a Cabronita. Of course, you're the best person to decide if you need one. If you like Gretsch guitars but you need something with an extra punch, then go for this. Maybe the only drawback of this guitar, but other than not having a Bixby, and if you want to put on a Bixby, then you will need to drill in. If I understand correctly, you would need to drill into this, but maybe you can put something like a proper Gretsch, because Teles are usually drilled in, have that drilled in Bixby bridge, but maybe you can put on, but I'm not sure if the distance would work. So that's something you won't find out from this video, because I don't know either. But the drawback I want to say is you only have a volume knob. It's great that it's not an Esquire and has two pickups, because I really like the middle position, and actually Brian Setzer uses it a lot. Chet Atkins almost exclusively uses that, so for that reason I think it's important to have a neck pickup, even though I don't really use a neck pickup by itself, maybe ever. But the point is, you don't have a tone knob, so if you want to do like tone swells like Jim Campilongo or Greg Koch, you wouldn't be able to do it on this guitar, but at least you can do behind the nut bends, because it's the Tele. Now it stays in tune very well, because it's a Tele with Gretsch pickups, so it doesn't have the Bixby and doesn't have any moving parts. It's solid as a chopping board and just sounds great. And hopefully you found that out from this video. Now I don't want to push the consumerist agenda that you have to buy everything, every pedal, every amp, every guitar, but hopefully this video was a little bit helpful for you to form an opinion about the Cabronita and maybe think about getting one instead of a Gretsch if you're a Tele player. Or if you're not a Tele player because you always find them harsh, then maybe this would be a good stepping stone, because I said earlier, this has twang, this has the chime, this cuts through somewhat, not as much as a Tele, but on the bright side, it's not as ice picky as people usually complain about. Well, Strat Beach pickups, but also about Teles. So let me know what you think in the comment section. If you have a Cabronita, what is your experience, or if you would like to get some or get one, and then hopefully see you in the next video.